What is up, guys? Welcome to this kind of a quick update on the Canon 1DX Mark III. I'm here at CES in Las Vegas, and a big thank you to B&H Photo for sending us out here and allowing us to cover this event. So something really shocking that I don't think anybody was expecting is the Canon 1DX Mark III at CES. I mean, this is something that we would expect at NAB. And there's already a couple of videos out there on YouTube which I think are really great and you should definitely check out, but there are a couple things that people are not talking about. And I kind of want to address those things here in this video, mainly because we were at Canon and we were able to kind of play around with it a bit and learn more about this camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and start things off with one of the most important things, and this is mainly speaking from somebody who shoots video, and that is the codec. This is not the same codec that we are seeing in the Canon C200 or even the Canon C500. You cannot, as of filming this video right now, take that raw codec and import it into Adobe Premiere. Again, as of filming this video right now, that is not possible. It is slightly different than the C200 and the C500. This will only work right now with Avid and, shockingly, Final Cut Pro. Now, I say shockingly because even though the C200, you can import that into Final Cut Pro, you still do not have raw capabilities. In other words, you cannot adjust the ISO and the white balance features, which I still don't know. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the case with this camera. So yes, you can import it and play with it, but that's not something that I'm pretty sure you will be able to do with RAW. You won't have those raw capabilities. The other thing is the C-Log. C-Log on the 1DX Mark III is not the same as the C-Log in the C200 or the C500. You're just getting the standard C-Log that you see on cameras like the EOS R. So in terms of color matching, it should be pretty close, but it's not going to give you a similar dynamic range like you would get on the C200 or even the C500. Again, keep that in mind because I'm seeing a lot of people right now saying, screw the C200, I'm not gonna buy the C200. Why would I even care about the C200? The 1DX Mark III is a killer. It's a really good camera, but understand you're not gonna get the same dynamic range, the C-Log, and that workflow of editing RAW is gonna be kind of a little bit of a bummer. Now, the second thing that nobody's really talking about is that there is still a recording limit with this camera. Understand that this camera is geared towards photographers. It just happens to have really killer video features. But if you do plan to use this in like documentary, a lot of like talking heads, or even some live production, there is a 30-minute record limit. There is a workaround though. You can use external recording. Hoorah, that's pretty awesome. So if you want to do 10-bit externally, you can kind of circumvent that. But internal, you're still limited to 30 minutes. And if you do plan to do 120 frames per second, that's also limited to 10 minutes. So just keep that in mind because I know a lot of people are going to buy this camera thinking that it's going to be that C200 replacement, but there are still limitations. Now here's another thing that I feel that nobody's really talking about, and that's the price of the camera. And I don't mean the actual price of the camera. We know that it's $6,500, but I said the same thing about the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K and 6K. You're looking at it from like a face value, but this camera is way more expensive and I don't feel a lot of people put this into consideration. For example, the media, the CFast Express cards are very expensive, especially if you're doing a RAW workflow, which I am accustomed to. Just 1 terabyte is gonna cost you about $1,000. And to give you some perspective about that, 1 terabyte will give you roughly a little bit over 1 hour of record time. So keep that in mind. Not to mention, there's also other things. What about storage on your computer? It's not just storage on the actual camera itself, but it's storage on your computer. And the final thing is your computer itself. Is it powerful enough to be able to edit that type of workflow? So don't think it's just $6,500. It's media, it's also media internal from your computer, it's also a fast computer. So as long as you check all those marks, this whole entire system, if you're looking at starting fresh, a new computer and all the storage, it's over $10,000, which at that point, it may make more sense to buy a C200 possibly. Look guys, I don't have the camera in front of me. We are going to be doing a lot more tests coming soon. We are gonna have this camera in the studio. We are gonna compare it to the C200 and the C500. However, we're still here at CES. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, and I'll try to respond to all of you guys. Also, what is up with Sony and the A7S? Oh, wait, they're building a car, which, by the way, just a little side note, that car looks amazing. How is it possible that Sony is able to build a car that is better looking, has an amazing interior compared to Tesla? I mean, it's not really hard to beat the interior of a Tesla. Honestly, I think it's pretty amazing that Sony's jumping into something that we honestly, nobody really expected. Like, this completely came out of left field, but kudos to Sony, that's pretty awesome, although we're still waiting for that Sony a7S III. Now, going back to the 1DX Mark III, I still think this is gonna be an amazing camera. Don't get me wrong, I just wanna provide this information for you guys before you go on head first, you buy the camera, and you might be disappointed with certain things. Again, I think it's an exciting camera. I think it's amazing that Canon is really pushing forward. If anything, it makes me excited about the EOS R Pro or even the EOS R version 2. I think Canon is listening to its consumers, so we're definitely going in the right direction. Now, who is the 1DX Mark III really for then, you might ask? Well, that's a good question because Connor McCaskill did an awesome video on that. Make sure to check his channel out. I will leave a link down below in the description. Also, if you want to watch this video in Spanish, hablo español, ya saben, un nuevo canal en español, there will be a link down below to the Spanish version of this. If you guys are interested in pre-ordering, there will also be a link down below. Make sure to check out B&H Photo on that. And a huge shout out for them for sponsoring this video and also our trip to this awesome CES show. My name is Armando. Thanks again for watching. You guys will catch me in the next one. Adios.